Okay, so picture this. Your company's new strategy, it's like a brilliant blueprint for a skyscraper. It's ambitious, it's visionary, it looks incredible on paper. But what happens when the very foundation you're about to build on is riddled with cracks? That's exactly what we're digging into today. You know, it's the question that keeps so many leaders up at night. You've got the perfect plan, you've got smart people, a crystal clear goal, and yet, somehow, somewhere between that boardroom presentation and the real world, it just fizzles out. Why does this keep happening? Well, to get to the bottom of it, we have to go right back to the beginning. Back to the architect's office, to the exact moment that blueprint is first drawn up. This is the stage we call strategy formulation. Now, what's really interesting here is just how simple this sounds on paper. You analyze your environment, you set some long-term goals, and you pick the best path to get there. It sounds almost like a checklist, right? But here's the thing. This is the exact stage where those first, often invisible, cracks in the foundation start to form. So let's play detective for a minute. We're going to investigate the 5 most common cracks in that strategic foundation. These are those hidden weaknesses that, if you're not careful, can bring the whole structure tumbling down. We're going to look at how these strategies break down in marketing, human resources, finance, operations, and then the big one that's so often overlooked, culture. So let's jump right in with that first point of failure. All right, the first major crack. This one shows up when an entire strategy is built on a complete misunderstanding of the customer. It's a mistake in the very first step, marketing. And we're not just talking about a bad ad campaign here. This is much deeper. Think about a company that launches a product they think everyone wants, only to find out they completely misread the market's needs. They built a solution for a problem that didn't really exist. That's a customer misread, a whole strategy built on nothing but a false assumption. And this is where it gets dangerous. Just like Dr. Hafina's points out, if you get the marketing piece wrong, if that foundation is weak, it honestly doesn't matter how great the rest of your plan is. You are fundamentally aiming at the wrong target from day one. And that leads us right into our second crack in the foundation, the talent gap. So you've got this brilliant plan, but do you actually have the right people to build the thing? You see this all the time. An organization wants to roll out some massive digital transformation. Great. But what if their workforce has spent the last 20 years on old-school analog systems and there's no real training plan? Or what if morale is so low that any call for change is just met with a collective eye roll? The most beautiful blueprint in the world is totally useless if you don't have a skilled crew to build it. And this quote just gets right to the heart of it, doesn't it? A strategy isn't just some document that sits in a folder. It's a plan of action. And if you don't have the talent to take that action, well, that's all it will ever be, a document. Okay, on to crack number 3. And let me tell you, this one can be one of the most brutal and unforgiving of them all. It's the financial reality check. Look, any good strategy is going to require investment, right? In new tech, in training, in marketing, you name it. But way too often, organizations draw up these huge, ambitious plans without a realistic budget to back them up. They want to be the market leader in a new tech space, but they have exactly zero capital set aside for R&D. That's a strategy that's basically dead on arrival. So let's just imagine for a second, your team has created the most visionary, game-changing strategy the company has ever seen. We're talking new facilities, cutting-edge tech, a massive global marketing push. But the wallet's empty. A brilliant strategy with no financial backing isn't a strategy, it's just a wish. This fourth crack takes us out of the planning room and down to the factory floor. The strategy might actually have the funding, but is the company's engine, its day-to-day operations, even capable of delivering on the promise? So, for example, let's say a small local company's big new strategy is to offer nationwide 2-day shipping. That's a fantastic goal. But what if their one and only production line can barely keep up with the local orders they already have? If your operational engine is sputtering and coughing, there's no way it can power an ambitious new journey. And this quote just nails it. If the operational side of the business can't actually support the strategy, the whole plan just collapses under its own weight. Execution becomes totally impossible. And that brings us to our 5th and final crack. This one is the most human of them all, and frankly, often the hardest one to fix: the company's culture. Think about it. A strategy might demand bold, fearless innovation. But what if the culture punishes anyone whose new project doesn't turn a profit immediately? Or what if the strategy demands collaboration between departments, but everyone works in their own little silo, guarding information? A resistant or worse, a toxic culture will actively sabotage even the most brilliant plans. So, we've laid it all out. We've seen the 5 cracks that can absolutely shatter a strategy. The big question now is, what do you do about it? How do you build something that actually lasts? Well, the key takeaway here is that you can't just fix one thing in isolation. Pouring money into your marketing won't matter if your finances are a total mess. And hiring amazing new talent won't help one bit if your culture just drives them away. Simply patching one crack is not the answer. The only real solution is to look at your strategy holistically, to actually see the entire foundation. It's about understanding how marketing, HR, finance, operations, and culture all have to connect and support each other. A successful strategy isn't just a great blueprint, it's a great blueprint built on a solid, stable, and fully integrated foundation. So, as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with a question to really chew on. When it comes to your own projects, your team, your organization's next big idea, which of these 5 cracks poses the biggest threat? Because just identifying it, well, that's the first step to building something that can truly stand tall.